Fusters, fall is here. Right now, we're in the spookiest month of all. But do you know what I find the most scary? It's the thought of showing up to all these friends and family meals over the next couple of months empty-handed. Why not take the pressure off and look like an expert in the process? Join the Community Wine and Spirits monthly wine club, the Mutual Satisfaction Society. You'll receive 3 carefully selected bottles every month, complete with tasting notes and detailed information on each wine. All for $90. Join in the next 24 hours and get 20% off your first shipment. Want fancier wine? They got you. Join the Mutual Satisfaction Society Plus for extra satisfaction. $150 will get you 3 very special bottles. Let them take the trouble out of selecting great wines that you will love. Your first shipment is 20% off just for listening to View the Right Thing. Join the community today at www.communitywineandspirits.com or DM them at CommunityWS.
It's 1971, and the Perron family have moved into their new Rhode Island home. Soon after moving in, the family experiences strange and sometimes terrifying paranormal activity and seek the help of supernatural investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren. The entity that they find has claimed the souls of the Perron family and refuses to let go in the first installment of a hit film franchise. Wes and Alexis prep their exorcism kits for their review of 2013's The Conjuring on View the Right Thing.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Hey, welcome back to another episode of View the Right Thing. I'm Wes.
And I'm Alexis.
Hi, Alexis. How are you?
Hi, Wes. I'm doing all right.
Just all right?
Yeah.
Sometimes you're like, I'm great. I'm fantastic. Today you're like, all right.
It's a solemn day. That's all.
Okay. Was it the movie? Did the movie do this to you? I would understand if you said the movie did this to you.
Sure.
Oh, okay.
We'll say that.
Oh,
yeah.
All right. Anything exciting going on in your life?
We had auditions for the play.
Oh, and how'd that go?
It went really well.
Did you audition?
I did.
Did you get a part immediately on the spot?
Yes.
I knew it. I knew it. What kind of part did you get?
One of the leads. Yeah.
I knew it.
But I was like kind of holding out. I was like, I'm not going to audition right away. Let's see who we have.
Yeah.
And
you were just the best.
I guess. Yes.
That sheepish look. I guess.
Yeah. So I'm really excited.
All right.
Yeah.
When's the performance? Is this
the October 15th through November 7th? They are Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday showings at the Loft Ensemble Theater in North Hollywood.
At night, I'm assuming.
Correct. Yes, not during the day.
Is it a long play? Like,
nope.
Like if people have a work night, is it going to be?
No, it's at most an hour and a half.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, and it's like really quick.
Like a short movie.
Yeah, like a short movie.
It's a comedy?
It is.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yes.
That's very exciting.
Yeah. I think it'll be fun.
Great.
Yeah.
Great.
What's going on with you?
The dog has been not well lately, but I mean, you saw him today. He was pretty good today, but
yeah.
He'd been a little sick and hobbling around a little. He's getting old.
Yeah.
But still doing. He's snoozing in the background.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's all right. I think he's gonna pull through. Yeah. Definitely not feeling well.
Yeah.
Lately.
He was snuggling with me during the movie.
He knew you were like anxious.
Yes.
I mean, that's his job. He has one job, and that's to be emotional support. So,
really?
Yeah, he's an emotional support doc.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
I just thought he was a great little dude.
I mean, yeah, he's that too.
He is a great little dude.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, he's a specifically a dog made for snuggling.
He's the best.
He is the best. Old wild dog Snee.
Mm-hmm.
He's made a few vocal appearances on this podcast over the years. So I think as long as we've been doing this podcast, he's been around. So it's a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Have you seen any trailers lately?
Oh, that's not a good
I have
sound.
not.
There's a new sort of like teen romantic comedy called Y2K about New Year's Eve, and it's got Jacob Martell in it, who I really really like. He was in the It movies, the newer It movies.
Okay.
Oh, do we need to put him in the bucket? We have to do him as a double feature if we do.
As a child, I saw like a snippet of the Tim Curry It movie where he is in the drain
Mm-hmm. Oh,
well and reaches out and grabs someone.
oh, that's child's play compared to this new stuff.
Oh, well, just to put it into perspective, after seeing that, I still will like walk well around one of those huge gaps
Yeah,
as a drain.
You're afraid something's in there.
Well, someone could fit in there. That's logical.
Sure.
And it terrified me.
Maybe I'll add him to the bucket.
Oh, no. Wait, the new ones are scarier?
Oh yeah.
Oh, God.
Oh yeah. And when I went back and before the new ones came out, I went back and rewatched the old one, and it's fun and it's nostalgic, but it's definitely super dated, and it's clearly made for TV.
Yeah.
Whereas these new ones, they don't really pull any punches. I will say though, I think the new ones aren't really that scary, because at its heart, it's a friend adventure. It's almost like if they turned Goonies into like a horror, like if it fit more into the horror vibe than the adventure vibe.
Yeah.
It's very similar to that.
Wow. Okay.
Stranger Things, and of course it's got one of the Stranger Things kids in it. And
Oh, really?
yeah, Finn Wolfhard is in it.
Oh, nice.
And he's fantastic.
Wow.
Yeah.
Literally the only thing I know about the new It movies is that Bill Skarsgård.
Yeah.
Skarsgård, right?
Skarsgård? Peter Skarsgård? Peter Sarsgaard. I don't know. I don't know. They both sound right.
Maggie Gyllenhaal is married to
Sarsgaard?
Sarsgaard?
Well, there's a Sarsgaard and there's Skarsgård.
I know.
Right? Sarsgaard is in the new Batman movie, The Batman, and I think the Skarsgårds are the family: Peter, Bill, Alexander,
Yeah.
Gustav.
Yeah. Okay.
Gustav,
so it
right?
is Skarsgård.
Yeah.
That's like the Bill and Alexander. They're
Yeah.
Skarsgård.
There's
Okay.
Alexander was on the last season of Succession, and they were talking to
Yes, he was.
Kieran Culkin.
Yeah.
Kieran Culkin.
Kieran
Yeah.
Culkin.
And I saw an interview with him. They were like, the Skarsgård brothers versus the Culkin brothers, and he's like, "Oh, they would destroy us. Have you seen them? They're all like 6'5". Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and they're all like jacked, and like even Gustav is like Gustav, right? Gustav, I think it's his name.
I believe.
He's from Vikings.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah, they're all like strong, muscular dudes.
Yeah.
And he's the like smallest of them, I think.
It's those big Swedes.
Yeah, but no, Bill Skarsgård is in it, and he's fantastic in it.
Okay.
It's really, really well directed. I really hope that there's a rumor, or they had said, the air kicked on. They had said that they were going to do, release part 1 and part 2, and then do a supercut where they're together, which is what I want to see.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that still happens at some point. Basically what they did maybe I should save this for if we do this as a podcast. Maybe I will. Maybe I won't go there. But the book and the original made for TV movie cuts back and forth through time, whereas this is a little bit more linear.
Oh.
And so the supercut was supposed to be edited like the book.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. So I hope they do it one day. I hope.
Yeah. Mm.
Yeah. Yeah. So I guess it's getting out of the bucket.
Cool.
Cool.
Great.
I
I'm
love
so
it.
excited.
All right.
As long as we don't add Poltergeist. I cannot.
Have we done Poltergeist on this? I don't think we've done Poltergeist.
What did I do?
I do love Poltergeist. It is a good one. They say it's directed by Tobe Hooper, but it's really directed by Steven Spielberg.
Yeah. Now you're like, oh, do I need to watch Poltergeist again?
No.
But Spielberg.
As a child, I saw that. My parents told me specifically not to watch it.
Yeah.
And I thought it was like you shouldn't watch this because we're telling you what to do. But it was more of you have a vivid imagination and you should not watch this. And I didn't listen. And I'd have the clicker in my hand. And anytime I'd hear one of my parents walking around upstairs, I'd change the channel and then change it back. And long story short, after that movie, I slept on the floor in my parents' bed for 6 months.
So let me ask you this.
Mm-hmm.
When was the last time you saw it? Was it then, when you were a child?
Yeah.
Oh, then you should probably watch it as an adult. Conquer your fear. And you probably will have an... Again, Poltergeist is another one where it's not that scary. When you're a child, probably super freaky.
To be fair, I had a 4-post bed in front of a small walk-in closet, just like Carol Ann.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And you're like, things are getting sucked into the closet.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And I was saying Spielberg directed that movie. For sure, he directed scenes with her. I think specifically that scene.
Really?
Yeah.
That entire movie is cursed.
Yeah. That's what they say.
Didn't the girl playing Carol Ann die?
Oh, yeah. Multiple people have died
Didn't
from that.
the older sister die?
Yeah, a bunch of people have died from that movie.
Not Craig T. Nelson.
Oh, they had some... There's been a few horror movies that are like The Omen is like super cursed. The Exorcist was super cursed. Did you know, because I don't know if we're ever going to do The Exorcist, but did you know the apartment that they were shooting in, The Exorcist, that it caught fire from some of the equipment and burned down, and the only room untouched by the fire was the exorcism room?
Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of I think The Omen, some people died in a plane crash and car accidents happened, and it's just some crazy stuff.
I will do any film, but I don't think... Okay. Hold on. Let me take a couple steps back here. Not any film. There are certain films of the X variety I will never do. But...
Of the X variety?
Yeah.
Oh, you mean like adult entertainment?
Correct.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
I just assumed that was we were only going to be talking about narrative.
Hey, there are narrative.
Okay, fair enough.
But I will not do a horror film.
Okay. You won't do horror? If somebody was like, hey, we want to cast you as a lead in a new horror film with Mike Flanagan as the director.
If it's a horror film that doesn't deal with spirits.
So a slasher you would do.
I can do a slasher.
But you can't do ghosts.
Nope.
So even if they're like, it's $1 million payday and it's going to launch your, really kick your career up.
What if it kills me?
Yeah, but then you'll be a legend forever if it kills you. Think about Poltergeist. You're like, oh, these people are all legends.
Oh, that's a tough one.
You'll live on forever, and no one will forget because the legend of the actress that died from.
Acting is my drug of choice, but I don't know. I don't know about that.
I don't know.
I don't mess with spirits.
I don't know.
I just don't mess with them.
It's all fake. I mean, in the movies, it's fake.
Okay.
It's fake in the movie. I worked on a movie with about angry ghosts.
Yeah?
Yeah, it was fine.
Oh, God. I played a demon.
See, you've already done it. You've already done it.
Shoot.
Yeah. We have many friends who have worked on shows that deal with monsters and demons and spirits, and they're all fine.
I don't even know if this movie is available for anyone to watch, but I played the demon at the very end of this film called Under the Devil's Backbone.
Oh, interesting.
Yes.
But there's a super famous movie called The Devil's Backbone.
Yes.
Which is, I think, in our bucket, maybe?
Oh, I have not seen it.
That's great. It's Guillermo del Toro.
Ooh, this is not direct. What I was in was definitely not directed by Guillermo del Toro.
Gotcha.
But if anyone happens to find it, I'd love to see it because I never got to see what I was in. But they really ugged me up, and like I have black on a lot of my teeth, and I looked like a demon with crazy hair and crazy makeup. It doesn't even look like me.
It's not even on Just Watch. That's not a good sign.
Uh-oh.
Well,
that's okay.
if anybody finds it, let us know so we can watch it.
Yes, please.
Yeah. The quality of the recording, the video recording today is
it's a little wonky.
It's a little rough.
But just with that.
No, this one. It's yours. Yours looks like garbage. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
So speaking of the recording,
yes,
we're doing a new thing now.
Yeah.
So we have Patreon exclusives. You can watch the podcast and see our facial expressions and hand gestures that nobody ever actually gets to see. Oh, hello.
What's that?
As notifications,
Cool.
probably. And you can do that as part of the Patreon exclusive. If you are a paid subscriber, then you get access to all of the little VODs. The audio is still going to be up on YouTube, but it's audio only. There will be some occasional specials, like the ET special, that everybody will have access to. But generally speaking, the episodes week to week will be Patreon exclusive. So check us out on Patreon. Really helps us. Even if you just do the free tier, you get the week ahead newsletter on Sundays, which tells you what's in the week ahead, like what the next movie is in case you've missed an episode. Tells you what we're up to, some plans that we have. I should also mention that there's another paid tier that allows community members to watch a movie together online, which is pretty cool. And you get to vote. There's a different theme. So in August, it was like Beat the Heat, and it was hot guys doing hot guy action things. And then I think September was Feeling Fine on a Sunday, because we watched the movie on a Sunday.
Cool.
And that theme, the idea was that in addition to lots of causes awareness months, like, September is National Suicide Awareness Month.
Yeah.
It's also National Self-Care Awareness Month. So all of the September movies were all feel-good films. So movies that would make you just feel a little bit better about the world.
That's
after you watched
lovely.
it. Yeah. So they always have a theme. And as you could probably guess, October is spooky themed. So and who knows what November has in store for us. I have some ideas. We'll figure it out. But yeah, so if you're part of the Viewster tier, you get to vote. Because we don't decide. We pick 5 movies to go into a poll, and then the community gets to decide what they want to watch, and then we watch with the community. So, so if you're part of the Viewster tier, you get to vote and you get to watch. So fun stuff. People get shout outs. If you want things read during the thing, there's a tier for that. So join the Patreon. We love having you there. We're also on Instagram. If you could do us a favor, and wherever you're listening to this, like it, review it, subscribe, follow it. If you're on YouTube, hit the little bell so that way you get the notifications for. Yeah. Did you know when you're watching something on YouTube and you click the subscribe button, it has a little animation. Oh. Yeah, it does like a little cool animation. So
fun.
If you want to see the little animation, hit subscribe while you're listening to this, because it's cool.
And hey, comment
on
those videos.
We actually got a great comment on the YouTube stuff. Had just gone up, and we almost immediately within days got a comment that we had made a mistake. We, in the American in Paris / Single Man episode, Steve and I had gotten a year wrong. I think we had said 1963 and it was 1962. So they commented on that and said, just by the way, and nice. I thanked them for the comment. I put a little addendum in the YouTube, the little description of what the video is, and gave them credit for giving us the comment for the correction. And so that was nice.
That's awesome.
I mean, you can comment other stuff, but
for sure.
But yeah, corrections are fine.
Yes. No one's perfect.
We tell people all the time. We say that all the time on here. Hey, if we're getting this wrong, let us know.
Yeah.
But in a nice way. This person was very nice. They were just like, hey, by the way, this, it's this, not this. I was like, oh, thank you.
Awesome.
That's very kind.
Mm-hmm.
So, yay.
Yay. Thank you. Whomever you are.
Yeah. Maybe we'll do a little shout out.
Ooh.
We'll do one of our shout outs that we need to do for Patreon.
Great.
Just want to say hello to our friends over at the Ill Repute Podcast. They are patrons of ours, and we're patrons of theirs. And they do a great podcast. They're lovely people. We love them very much, and you should check them out. Ill Repute.
Hey, Ill Repute. Thanks for being awesome.
Yeah, thank you for being awesome. That's the best way to put it. I should say, in the weekly look ahead, the little newsletter that we do, we always have a section about how much we love you all.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's true. We have big hearts.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of love to give.
Yeah.
All right. Well, should we talk about this movie?
Yes. Let's.
Okay. Why don't you tell me what it's about?
Okay. So we watched The Conjuring. Here's what I have. Paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren work to help a family terrorized by a dark presence in their farmhouse.
Dark presence. So the question, as always, Alexis, did you enjoy this movie?
I did.
I knew you were going to. I knew you were going to. I knew you felt conflicted about saying that you did. Yeah, I knew it. Yeah, it's great, right?
It is.
Yeah, I think. Go ahead.
It's done really well. The storyline is like really clear, and I was surprised.
Yeah.
By the film.
Yeah.
Like it took so many fantastic twists and turns.
Yeah. So I told you before we started it, this was one of my favorite horror films of the last like 20 or 30 years, and it still stands true. I've seen it many, many times. I just think it's made really well. It's got a killer cast.
It does.
And it's authentic. It feels authentic.
Mm-hmm.
And it's strangely like sentimental, I think. And I think that's nice to see in a horror film. It's not just,
Yes.
So.
Was this the first in the Annabelle?
It's the first in the Conjuring universe. The Annabelle is in the Conjuring universe. But yes, the answer is it's the first. Yeah. So there's the Conjuring 2. I think the third one's called The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It. There's a fourth one being made, which I believe is supposed to be the last of that series.
Oh.
And then there's 2 or 3 Annabelle movies.
Yeah.
And The Curse of La Llorona is also in the Conjuring universe, but doesn't really have anything to do. I don't think even any of the characters show up in that one. It just happens to be part of that universe.
I see.
I think they were like, hey, this is hot. Let's keep this universe going, and we'll just say it's part of the Conjuring universe. But I don't think it had any crossovers or anything.
Okay.
I could be wrong. I did see it, but I don't remember very well. It was fine. It was fine. Not amazing. I really like the second Conjuring movie a lot.
Yeah.
If they keep, The Nun is in, both Nun movies are in the Conjuring universe as well.
Interesting.
So now we got to watch The Conjuring 2 sometime, just for fun.
Okay.
Not necessarily for the podcast.
I mean, I'm actually not upset at that.
No, I think you'd really enjoy it. I really like the second one because it's a very different setting, but it's also what am I looking for? It's a really well-known case in England.
The second one?
The second one.
Okay.
And so that's really kind of fun that they actually, so they teased at the end of this movie going to Long Island.
Right.
That is the Amityville Horror.
That's what I was guessing.
Which they don't cover they cover a tiny bit, but they don't do a movie based on it.
There's probably been enough Amityville horror films.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Were they?
Yes. They investigated the Amityville horror.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, and the one in England, I believe, was the Enfield house.
I don't know that one.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Oh.
There's been lots of like, movies based on the Enfield horror.
Okay.
And some TV movies they did in England, and yeah, it's pretty cool.
Wow.
Pretty cool.
And they went over to England to...
It's my understanding.
Okay. You have to have all the information for me.
Well, if we were to do a podcast on the second movie, then maybe, maybe I will have that. But I mean, we can just keep doing Conjuring movies if you want for the podcast. We can do all of them. I would
actually like that.
Okay. We'll add them. We'll add them to the
so
bucket.
Surprised.
Yeah. Well, and the performances, the actors,
so terrific.
Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga.
Farmiga.
It's with a hard G.
Yeah.
Farmiga. Well, and her daughter is in The Nun.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And I think, I could be wrong. So The Nun takes place like way before these, I believe. And the fourth Conjuring movie, I think, will unite mother and daughter somehow. I don't know how it's going to work, but I believe they're both listed in the cast.
Wow.
For the fourth Conjuring.
Wouldn't it be interesting if her daughter was playing young her?
It would be interesting, except that they've sort of established her as this nun.
Yeah.
So.
So she's the nun.
No.
Okay.
She's a nun.
Okay. Okay.
One of many nuns.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm interested in that.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll add those to the bucket.
I didn't love The Nun, but
I'm sorry, The Conjuring.
Yeah.
The other Conjuring.
But we might need to watch The Nun for background if she's in the new movie.
Fair.
Because I don't want to give it away.
Okay.
They are the Nun movies are definitely connected to The Conjuring, whereas like Annabelle is really loose.
Okay.
Well,
they're like in the same universe.
One of the Annabelle movies actually is actually directly connected to The Conjuring.
Which one?
I think the second one. So I think there's like the Annabelle origin, which I think might have been the first movie.
Okay.
And then they did a sequel, which takes place after the Warrens have possession of Annabelle. So that one would probably tie in, so that we could watch that.
Is that Annabelle Creation?
That's the first one, I think. Annabelle Creation is like the origin. I said origin. I think it's called Creation. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've never seen it. Okay.
We'll cover Annabelle in a minute when we get into the movie a little bit. But yeah. Well, did you take very many notes? Because it seemed like I
didn't. I was just watching it.
You were
a
just
lot.
enraptured.
I mean, I was very excited that Lily Taylor was in this.
Yeah. It's funny. I like to tell you, especially if I know there's actors that I know you'll like. I'm like, don't look up anything about it. Don't look at the credits or whatever,
Yeah.
And I know, I think I've like figured you out a little bit, and so I get to hear you go when you see somebody you really like.
Yeah.
So.
Yes.
Yeah. So
I think Lily Taylor is so talented.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think one of the first horror films that I watched, like that I was okay with watching.
Haunting.
Yes.
Yeah.
Was it The Haunting or The House Up on the Hill? Because they both came out around the same time, and I can never tell them apart.
The Haunting with Owen Wilson is also in that, and Catherine Zeta-Jones.
Yes.
You're thinking the other one is The House on Haunted Hill with Jeffrey Rush, which is a remake of a fantastic Vincent Price film that I love. And yeah, I love The House on Haunted Hill.
Yeah.
It's super cheesy though.
Oh, okay.
But it was one of those movies where it's an old black and white film, and it was like too scary to watch in the theater. So the premise is that Vincent Price's character is throwing a birthday party for his wife, and he's invited all these like seemingly random people. And when they show up, there's like these coffin or little coffin shaped things with weapons in them and stuff. And so it's like, if you can survive the night, you'll get $25,000. And so there was a whole, or maybe it's $5,000, I don't remember. It was a low number high for that time, but
for
low
sure
by today's standards.
Yeah.
and there was a whole thing where it's like, you go see this movie, you could win. If you can stay through the whole thing, you could win. There's a moment, I'm going to spoil it a little bit. There's a moment where a skeleton like kind of levitates out of something and comes towards one of the main characters, and they had a skeleton on like a zip wire, and it would zip up to the balcony in the audience and scare everybody. So it's pretty great.
That's so mean.
Yeah, I love it. I think it's so fantastic. I wish they would do stuff like that more. I like gimmicks. I like every once in a while. I don't want every movie to have a gimmick.
Right.
That's why I like 3D, because it's like a gimmick, but it's not too intrusive.
Yeah.
But I did one. I went and saw the last Maze Runner movie, maybe. And they had extra screens on the sides.
Oh.
And so the movie they created extra projections for some scenes for extra scenery. So they're out in the desert, and you've got more desert like moving around.
Wow.
Sides and stuff to supposedly immerse you. It wasn't very good, but it was cool that they tried to do something interesting.
Yeah.
Which I liked. And the new Francis Ford Coppola movie Megalopolis also has a gimmick in it, but I don't want to ruin what it is.
Okay. Megalopolis.
Yeah, it makes me wonder if it, like, I don't know how they're going to do it for home release, the gimmick.
Huh. Okay.
So I've heard not great things about Megalopolis and about Francis Ford Coppola. I think he's not supposed to be a very good guy.
Oh. Well.
Maybe a little handsy and abusive.
Ooh. That's a bummer.
I'm not terribly surprised, but...
Why? Because he's Italian?
No. Jesus Christ. Wow. Do you think I have a problem with Italians?
No, but there's
Are you Italian?
I am. Yeah. There's a stereotype about Italian men.
Oh no, I don't know that I would have thought of that.
Oh.
That they're lecherous?
No.
Or just like they're very amorous.
They're amorous, and when you said, he can be handsy. I like interpreted it in different ways. Like,
I mean handsy
like
is in
handsy and handsy.
I think handsy is in like touching people without their consent.
Oh, but also, yeah, it's an antiquated.
Yeah, I wasn't thinking that.
Sorry.
Who's the racist now?
I put so much judgment on my people.
Yeah. Yeah. So, anyways, yeah, I think Megalopolis has a gimmick, and
okay,
I don't think it'll work for. I mean, maybe they'll find a way to do it. But
is it currently in theaters?
I don't think it's out. Well, by the time this podcast comes out, it might be out. I've been seeing more ads for it.
Okay.
Lately, I just don't think it looks very good. I think it looks kind of boring.
Okay.
It did not go well at Cannes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Womp womp.
Womp womp. All right. So what do you got for me?
The very first note I took was smart dog doesn't want to go in the house.
Yeah. Hey, pay attention to your dog. Dogs can tell you a lot. They can tell you whether somebody's a good human being.
Yep.
They can tell you if there's evil present.
Absolutely.
And they can tell you if maybe there's something wrong with you.
Yes.
There's a lot of animals that do like medical related things, sniff out cancer.
Incredibly intuitive.
Yeah.
Yes, and they have such sensitive. Like we can smell like, let's say 13 things.
Yeah.
And they can smell like 13,000.
And for a long period, like old things, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I read a book where they use like cadaver dogs, and even in like a lake, like if a body has been submerged in a lake for like I think like weeks or months, the dog can still smell. So they could take the dog and kind of prop them up on the edge of the boat and drive around the lake, and the dog can alert them where the body is based off of the smell.
Wow.
Yeah. Pretty cool.
That is cool.
Yeah.
Dogs are amazing.
Dogs are amazing. We don't deserve them.
We don't
deserve them.
This sort of goes along with my next note that like when Patrick Wilson goes down into the basement, I was like, don't do it. And he like tries to light a match and the matches keep blowing out. And I just go, yep, matches won't stay lit. So one of my friends, one of my high school friends, hey, Becky.
Hi, Becky. Nice to meet you.
I think it was her aunt, had this haunted attic. It was always cold up there.
Mm-hmm.
And the dog would not go up there.
Yeah.
Like refused. And they tried to carry it up there into the attic. And he would just start shaking violently and freaking out. And matches would always blow out.
Mm.
And they had to get an exorcist to
For the
come and
house.
bless the upstairs,
Yeah.
to bless the attic. And after that, the dog had no problem going upstairs. Just saying.
How about
Yes.
after we finish talking about this movie, we each tell a ghost story from our lives. One story about ghosts.
Man, that's going to be hard.
Yeah, you have to pick one.
I know. Okay.
From our personal lives, not like not like what you just said, where it was like somebody else's house. Yeah, right.
Oh yeah, I have a few.
Okay. Well, one.
One. Jeez. Okay, I know which one.
Okay.
The next note I took was that the clocks stopped at 3:07, which was interesting that we learned later that's when the witch died.
Mm-hmm.
Was at 3:07, and so that's why it always stopped at 3:07.
Yeah.
Because like the 3 to 4 o'clock time is the witching hour.
Okay. Really?
Yeah.
I thought it was like between 12 and 1 or something.
Well, maybe let me change that to the spirit hour.
The Spirit Hour.
Yeah.
You're listening to the Spirit Hour.
The Spirit Hour with Wes and Alexis.
Brought to you by Lucky Strike. No, don't smoke, kids.
It's very yeah, don't smoke. It's bad for you.
And it's disgusting. It's
Yeah.
gross. It smells awful.
Ugh.
And you ever have to sit next to somebody who's a smoker?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. No, thank you.
You have a very sensitive nose.
Yeah, especially to that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, terrible. Anyways, go ahead.
But I guess it intrigued me that the reason they set the time at 3:07 was because one of the past characters had died then, and not because that is an exceptionally spooky time frame
Yeah.
in like the 3 o'clock
Yeah.
realm.
Yeah.
So it kind of, instead of making it feel like woo-woo, it was more like, oh, well, that's why.
Mm-hmm.
You know, instead of just like, oh, this is because it's in the 3 o'clock hour.
Yeah.
Something that really bothered me was how filthy that house was.
Well, they moved into a fixer-upper.
For sure. I don't know, maybe it's just me. Like, I wanted to wash the doors. There were so many like gnarly, dirty handprints on the doors.
Yeah, kids too.
I know.
5 children will do that to you, I guess.
I guess so. I was like, God, that house is filthy.
5 precocious girls.
For sure. The hide and clap. I'd never heard of hide and clap. I've heard of hide and seek.
I've heard of hide and clap.
Really?
It's sort of like a Marco Polo kind of thing, right?
Huh.
Yeah.
And I've played Marco Polo and I've played hide and seek, but I've absolutely never heard of hide and clap.
There's a video game called, I think it's called Prop Hunt, where one group of people can turn into like an object, like an air conditioner or a box or a trash can, and they find a place on the map to hide, and they sit and they wait, and then the other group of people has to go out and hunt them with guns, and they try to find them and shoot them. And it's done sort of in rounds, and at the end of each like round, all of the characters will whistle. So it's a similar idea, so that way you can kind of know, oh, there's something in the room with me. Yeah.
Okay.
So similar.
I realized while watching it, the girls playing hide and clap in the house taught the demon a way to communicate.
Oh yeah. And it's such a great old school effective scare. Not even the first one when you see the hands come out of the closet and they're like out of focus. Such a great, James Wan is really smart. This is the same guy that did the first Saw movie, maybe the second.
Oh God.
And then, since then he's done like Aquaman. So yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I think he's really talented though. And he used a lot of sort of 1970s-ish techniques for things. Used lighting really, really well. I think he veered away from CG with the exception of like some birds and things.
Right.
But yeah, he was, yeah.
Yeah, I definitely felt, granted I've never lived in the 70s, so I don't know, but I felt like I was in the 70s.
Yeah, the soundtrack really helps with that.
Totally.
And it's got like the movie has a little bit of like not a sepia, but a little bit of like a dirty like tint to it, which you know, like The Godfather is really like golden.
Yeah.
You know, movies of that era is just sort of like you watch a movie from the era, and it's sometimes the film print is you know stained or you know dirty or whatever, and so you get that kind of vibe from it. So,
yeah.
Again, really, really smart filmmaking.
It was really beautiful. When Lily Taylor goes down into the basement, or starts to go down into the basement, whoever's in there, I'm going to lock you in here. I wrote, nope. Nope. Don't say that. Don't say that. You just like go, just run away. That's what I would have done.
Yeah.
I actually, whenever I have felt a ne'er-do-well spirit, I'm just like, okay, everything's fine. I'm going to go over here now. Okay.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to anger any of them.
Sure.
The thing that really grossed me out, aside from the fact that the little girl, Joey King's character, kept feeling someone pulling her down the bed.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I used to keep my toes hidden, like under blankets. The fact that she was on top of her blankets with her feet just out for anyone to grab.
Yeah. You were talking earlier about cursed films.
Yeah.
Joey King, while filming this, developed a blood disorder, a blood disease. And when filming ended, the blood disease went away.
Right. Right.
It's some sort of autoimmune disease, and it does clear up on its own after a few weeks of contracting it. So you go on location anywhere, you could contract something. So
sure.
I'm just saying, you know.
Sure. What sort of blood disease was this?
I can tell you it was called ITP, immune thrombocytopenia.
Huh.
And it can last as little as a few weeks. It does usually clear up.
Have they done any studies on the people who catch this, that if they have been around any paranormal activity?
I don't know that they've done that. But I mean, again, kind of going back to like, that's like suggesting that Top Gun Maverick was cursed because Miles Teller developed like poisoning from the jet fuel. You know what I mean? Like, well,
I mean, that's jet fuel.
I mean,
there's like a reason for that.
Yeah, but nobody else did, right? It's like, it turns out he's an allergy. You know, it just like, you know, coincidence. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
I've not heard any other cursed things from this film. That's the only thing that could remote. I just thought it was fun. I wanted to play into your... Well,
it's interesting that she developed some sort of blood disease when Lily Taylor's character, who was playing her mom, had a blood disorder.
No, she didn't have a blood disorder. They thought it was a blood disorder because they were trying to explain why she was getting bruised.
Right.
That doesn't mean she has a blood disorder. She's being if somebody every night in your sleep punched you somewhere on your body and you woke up with a bruise.
Yeah.
The doctor might think, and you didn't know why, and you go see the doctor's like, oh, you're getting these bruises because you have a blood disorder. They're treating something that's not really the thing.
Okay.
She didn't have a blood disorder.
I know she didn't.
Good try. I'm going to be the skeptic here.
Okay, that's fair.
I don't have, I'm open, by the way. I'm open to what could be out there.
Okay. Something that I haven't, granted I haven't watched a lot of horror films, but I don't recall in the others that I have seen them discussing that the evil spirit smells like putrid meat.
Yeah, I've heard like sulfur. I've heard things like that before, and like it's like, yeah, I've heard rotting flesh, I feel like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've smelled that before. And kind of like punched me in the face. Like, hey, remember that?
Oh.
Oh my God. Oh my God. They're talking about this in this movie. I've never heard them talking about this before.
Nice.
Like, I didn't know if that was a thing, and I guess it's a thing.
Yeah. I like that they reference changes in temperature, but they didn't like obsess over it.
Right.
You know?
Right. Because that's also a thing.
Yeah, it's a thing.
Yeah. I'm like going through my mind, like, okay, which story am I going to tell? Because I have like this one, but no, not that one. What about this one?
Yeah. Yeah.
I've experienced a lot.
Yeah.
So that's why I was so excited. Like I was keeping it to myself, but I was very excited watching this.
Yeah.
Which I think is why I didn't take as many notes, because I was just like, what else are they going to say?
Did we already go through all your notes?
Almost.
Oh.
I have one more note.
I've got some notes about the real thing.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, one or two maybe.
Yeah.
Movie specific notes, but.
Okay.
What?
Well, then the last note that I have is Patrick Wilson's character says, sometimes when you get haunted, it's like stepping on a piece of gum. It latches onto you.
Yeah. Did you take it with you?
Yeah.
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 Yeah, I've heard that before, that ghosts don't haunt a place, they haunt the people.
Yeah.
Yeah. But these weren't ghosts. Were they?
There were some that were ghosts. There were ghosts that were stuck there because of the demon.
Okay. That's true.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I guess that's fair.
Yeah. And then the demon latches onto the mother.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm wrong.
Which was interesting because I have watched the Amityville Horror, and that one, didn't the demon latch onto the dad?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
It's just intriguing.
Yeah. Well, you know, I think there's an interesting idea that, you know, you assume that the children are the weak ones, but really, like, if your family's in danger, the one who gets weak is, you know, it's easy. One that gets worn down are the parents, because they're like constantly on guard and, you know, worried and trying to figure out what's going on, and kids just believe what they're told a lot of time. Well, you know,
they believe what they're told, but they also believe what they see.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like children are still so innocent that if they see something, they're like, no, but I really did see that.
Yeah, but I mean, if the parents say it's fine, kids will go, well, my parents, I believe my parents. My parents tell me it's fine. It's going to be okay.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And so it's easier to like stay strong if you just you're being taken care of. So it makes sense to me that the parents are the ones that get targeted.
Yeah.
In some of these films.
Wow.
Yeah. That was it for your notes, huh?
That was it for my notes.
So the real Lorraine Warren and Andrea Perrin, who was the oldest daughter, were consultants on this film. And the production design team rebuilt the house almost exactly to what it was originally like. The tree was not there. The tree was added, and it was a fig tree.
Okay.
But they said that so the family lived there for about 10 years, and that the movie is a correct account of what they experienced. So
holy cow.
So let's take that, you know, for what you will. There were 8 generations of families that lived and died in that house before the parents moved in. And the parents believed that the spirits never left. The deaths included 2 documented suicides, a poisoning, a rape and murder of an 11-year-old girl, 2 drownings, and 4 men who froze to death. Most deaths occurred within the Arnold family, from which Bathsheba Sherman was descended.
Oh my God, wait, her name was actually Bathsheba?
Yeah.
I thought he was just pulling out biblical names.
And Andrea didn't believe that it was Bathsheba. Lorraine Warren did.
Okay.
But Andrea went on to sort of decide it was a different Arnold family member. So,
wow.
Both Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga both went to Connecticut to meet with Lorraine Warren before they even filmed this
Amazing.
Movie. Yeah.
She's still alive?
I think she might have died now. I'm not 100% sure.
Okay.
I can look that up in a minute, or you can look it up while I'm telling you more stuff. She is in the movie. Lorraine Warren. She's in one of the maybe about halfway, maybe a little more, less than halfway through the film. In one of the talks that they're giving at one of the universities, she's sitting in the front row.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
She did pass in 2019.
Yeah, I thought maybe she had.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about Annabelle.
Okay.
That is not what the real Annabelle looks like. The real Annabelle is a very famous character in doll/children's history.
Is it Raggedy Ann?
It is Raggedy Ann. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that sound is, if it's showing up in the podcast, it is perfect for this episode.
It really is.
Of View the Right Thing. I hope it shows up in the podcast. So the one of the girls that had the doll Donna, her mother had bought it at a hobby store, like a little hobby shop. The doll did leave notes on pieces of parchment paper, even when there was no parchment paper in the house. It was attacked. It attacked a friend of theirs named Lou, who I think is maybe the guy that's sitting on the couch with the girls and is just like, looks despondent. I think that's maybe supposed to be Lou. And the doll left claw marks all over his chest. And obviously they decided, porcelain dolls are scarier than Raggedy Ann. So they changed up what the doll looked like and scarred it up and stuff. And I believe you get to learn about how in like Annabelle Creation, I think you learn about how the doll gets all beat up, and messed up. So,
wow.
Yeah. I will tell you the thing that is different in this film.
Okay.
I don't believe there was an exorcism done. The Warrens were actually kicked out of the house because they couldn't help the parent family.
What?
Yeah. So that's the big difference in this film. I know. You
So they stayed there.
Yeah.
For 10 years.
I don't know if someone else helped them out.
Okay.
So the whole thing with the exorcism thing. So I believe when you said your friend had their house blessed, probably a priest came and blessed their house. Probably not an exorcist. Exorcisms have to be approved. And they can only be done by bishops. So
really,
yeah. So and they touch on this briefly in the film that like when it's like he's like, I can't do it because you have to be trained to do it, and things go wrong when someone who's not trained does it. And that's the belief, is that and suppose I don't know if exorcisms are real or not, but the documented cases that say that people that have tried to do it that weren't trained to do it and, blessed by the Pope or whatever, that they, people die and stuff because of it. So, yeah. Just kind of go through my notes here. I want to save that for a little bit here. The real Bathsheba Sherman was suspected of witchcraft and killing an infant child, but her name was cleared after the fact by court of law. She died of natural causes in 1885. She did not hang herself. She is buried in Harrisville, Rhode Island.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Huh.
Mrs. Arnold, one of the previous family members who died.
Yes.
She was one of the former owners of the farmhouse, and she is the one that Andrea Perron believed was the haunting the house.
Yeah.
She did hang herself when she was 93 years old.
Oh my gosh. How?
Yeah. I don't know.
I know.
Hobbled up on a little step stool. One of the things I really liked about this movie, we talked about the sort of the filmmaking look and style. One of the things I really liked was the sense that you're constantly looking through the eyes of something else, or like something's always watching. There's a lot of like tracking shots and Steadicam shots, things, moving from room to room, these long takes, where you're watching a character move. So you're basically following them, but you're following them from another room or following them from behind something or from the floor or whatever. And so I just really, that's another sort of thing I noted.
It was cool when they like turned the camera upside down.
Yeah, to follow her.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
It kind of they harkened back to that when her chair gets turned upside down.
Yeah. One of the movies that he sort of, James Wan modeled, and was sort of like, I want this to have this feeling, is the original Haunting, which is not the one Lily Taylor, she was in the remake.
Yeah.
The original is a movie about scientists investigating the Hill House.
Really?
Yeah. And it's from 1963. It's a very slow burn, just FYI. But cool. I mean, it's iconic and considered to be one of the best ghost haunted house films of all time. So, definitely check it out when you have time. The last big thing I think I have here is this movie was rated R. But did you notice it wasn't like excessively? No. Like there's no.
It was rated R. Did they even swear in the movie? I think the worst I heard was "God damn it."
Yeah, maybe. They wanted it to be PG-13.
Okay.
It has no sex, no nudity, a tiny bit of profanity. Most of the violence doesn't actually show blood.
Right.
There's a tiny bit of alcohol in it and a tiny bit of smoking. Oh no, there's no smoking.
No.
The MPAA said simply that the film was so scary that there were no cuts or edits possible that would make it a viable PG-13 film. I mean, it's a pretty spooky film. The moments that are spooky are spooky.
This is true. This is very true.
And they didn't want to change the tone of the film, so they just were like,
okay,
it's an R rating.
Okay.
It is one of the more successful R-rated horror films.
Yeah.
So, yay. We're happy with that.
Yeah.
So, that's pretty much it I have for the notes. Yeah. It's just a solid piece of filmmaking and a great story.
Do we know if the Wilsons?
The parents?
Warrens. Sorry.
Warrens?
If the Warrens really had that room of artifacts?
Yes, they showed that those photos in the credits were real photos.
Wow.
Yeah, so you see like the shelves full of stuff, yeah.
Wow. I would never keep that shit in my house.
Yeah, but I think they felt like they were doing like God's work and they had a calling to protect people. And they, felt like they knew what they were doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that what your fear is does come back to haunt them, some of them in one of the other movies.
You don't say.
Yeah. I'm not going to tell you which one. You'll just have to wait.
Okay.
So.
I mean, just because you've put a lock on it.
It's like blessed and crosses and.
Oh, gosh. I swear, I will have one
episode where
I don't touch the microphone.
I don't believe you. It's all right. I've been somehow, I think my mic is turned a little bit and I've been popping a lot of words. When I say podcast. Patreon. I didn't do it that time, but.
Oh, but I was like, I got distracted by knocking the microphone. Just by putting a lock on it, it's not like they're vampires.
Yeah, and they have to be invited in. Well,
right.
In some way, they do have to be invited in. They did choose to invite them in by bringing them there.
Yes.
Yeah.
And now putting a lock on a door does nothing.
Yeah.
Like they're in there. They can move about.
Yeah.
I believe in spirits.
You know what I think is one of the more unsettling things in the film?
Huh.
The music box. And it's not what it looks like or what it does. It's the music. I find I don't know if asynchronous is like the right word, but like the way the notes come out of that music box don't seem like they're timed correctly. Maybe it's because it's old, or maybe that's just the way it's supposed to be. But it's that I find that unsettling for some reason.
Interesting.
It's like ding, ding. I'm just like, yeah, don't. Let's do something more harmonious.
Yeah, the music chosen for that music box was very, like, it was intended to make you feel uneasy.
Yeah.
But I guess if it's that old, the metal, because you know how music boxes work. They're like pulling across little pieces of metal.
Yeah.
And maybe some of them have warped in a way that makes the sound no longer as clear and on the correct note as it used to be.
Maybe.
I'm just speculating here,
I like it.
obviously.
I like your speculation. It's
I like
great.
that. Yeah.
Let me ask you a question.
Okay.
Do you want to do your story first or my story first?
You can go first.
Okay.
Okay.
So you remember the old place we used to live into, the house, the big house?
Yeah.
It's from like 1920. And it's big wooden house, old doors, lots of original things in it. And I was home alone, daytime, interestingly. And I was just like hanging out in the bedroom, laying on the bed with the dog. And I heard just this loud thud upstairs. There was, we had a theater room.
Oh, yes.
And it was just like recliners and a nice TV and stuff. And what it sounded like was like somebody had a big stack of books in their hands and they just let them go and they just hit the floor.
Yeah.
Now, I'm home alone. Des is out of town. Not even like just at work, out of state.
Wow.
And the dog definitely heard it. So I'm like, okay, this is not in my imagination. And I'm like, you know, what the heck is that? So I sit there and I'm just listening, and it sounds like something's like a person's moving around up there. And I don't know what to do. I'm like, I don't want to call it cops because if I'm imagining things, then I'm a crazy person. But also, there's maybe an intruder in my house.
Yeah.
So I call our friend Daniel. I'm like, I don't know what to do. I feel like I need to check it out, but I'm freaked out by it, and I don't want to die. And he's like, just throw me on FaceTime. I'll go with you.
Yeah.
So we go up, and there is nothing up there. Nothing on the floor. Nothing has fallen down. We used to have some boxes full of DVD cases. There were DVDs in them too, but the DVD cases and things. And all the boxes were stacked fine. Nothing had fallen over. And there was a noise from the hallway. And so I think I've got a baseball bat in one hand and the phone with FaceTime going in the other, because I thought there was a person in the house. That was my assumption, was there's a person in the house. Possibly. And it sounds like the noise is coming from this closet that we've been told not to go in. There are two places in the house that we're not supposed to go. One is this closet, and the door to the closet is jammed shut.
Was this in the hallway?
Yeah.
Okay.
And you come up the stairs, and there was like a desk, and right across from the desk there was this, and I knew it was in there. It was like there was like some electrical things that the landlord would, but he doesn't want us going in there, right? Like ducts and things are in there. Sort of like a crawl space, not really an attic, but kind of, you know. And then the other place was under the house. There was like a trap door on the bottom floor that went under the house. And cause there was a very big crawl space in the foundation and stuff down there. So those are the two places we're never supposed to go. But the door upstairs was jammed shut. Like I had tried to go in before, and I was like, no way, that's not happening. So I go out there, and I've got the phone in my hand, and I'm standing there, and I kid you not, we hear click, and the door slowly opened. And I was like, nope. Nope.
Yep.
I shut it, and I went downstairs, and I just stayed downstairs for the rest of the day. It just did not go back up. I did nothing. What could you do?
I don't know.
What do you do?
You can tell them to go away.
I don't know if we tried that. We might have tried like leave us alone or like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Just in case. I can't explain it. It could have been heat. It could have been drafts. Who knows? Like
a door that was jammed shut.
Yeah.
That the moment you stood in front of it, it went click and opened.
Yeah. Well, it was like it had shit. So I don't think the door's ever latched shut. Right. So here's the skeptic explanation. Right.
Okay.
So the little thing that clicks into the door never found the hole for it, right? So it never actually clicked shut. So it's jammed against the door frame, essentially. Temperatures can change how wood reacts, right?
Right.
So it could be just that happened to be at that moment, coincidence, that the wood had shifted, and when it started to open, it clicked out, and that was the click I hear as it's coming open. I don't know. I'm open to it, but it was. I mean, we had another experience with Steve with Steve, who used to be on the podcast at our old apartment as well. But that's for another time. Interesting. So that's my story.
Interesting.
Yeah, and I actually told that story. We have some mutual friends who do casting for various shows, and one of them was casting for a show about ghost experiences, and they actually interviewed me for it to see if maybe I should tell that for the show.
Nice.
But I think I'm too skeptical, and it wasn't. I think they were looking for like big scares, and this is like pretty tame.
Huh.
It's like a spooky incident that happened, but it's not like I was haunted for weeks on end or whatever.
Right.
I didn't have to call any priests.
That's good. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. What's your story? Tell me your story. This is spooky month, so.
This is spooky month. Okay. When I lived in Chicago, my boyfriend at the time, we went to go visit one of his good friends. I had a different boyfriend. I know.
I refuse to believe it.
He pales in comparison.
Yeah. Everyone does. I pale in comparison.
Drastically. No.
He's fantastic.
Jeff is fantastic. I agree. So Peter.
Yeah.
And I went to go visit one of his friends from high school, I think. And we went to like nowhere, Illinois. It was like out in the sticks. And his parents, Peter's friend's parents, lived in a barn.
Cool.
Like they had rehabbed a barn into a house, and it was wonderful. It was so nice, and they were really sweet. And they had a cat, and this is all going to make sense. They had a cat. At the time, I was very allergic to cats, and so I wasn't feeling well, and I took some allergy meds and went to bed. But I jumped ahead. When we first got there, we were staying up in the very, very, very top of the house.
Okay.
And I felt really weird about the corner of the bedroom that we were staying in. And I set my bag down and I was like, okay, I'm not going to say anything because maybe it's just me being in a new house and but I just feel like something evil is in the corner. And when I went to bed with the allergy meds, I left the light on. If I feel creeped out, I leave the light on to go to sleep. Because, I don't know, my mind is like, if it's dark, they'll know that they can come to get me. Fast forward to 3:30 in the morning. All of a sudden, Peter has thrown his body over me and his leg is sticking out and he's going, hey, 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 and is freaked out. And I turn the light on and I go, what just happened? Why? What is going on? And he goes, I saw this headless creature coming towards us and being really creepy. And I go, where was he coming from? And he pointed to the exact location that I felt creeped out by.
Yeah.
And I go, okay, we're going to leave the light on. The parents of his friend had previously said, we're sorry, the heater doesn't really work upstairs, so make sure that you have lots of blankets on.
Mm-hmm.
Right after that happened, it got ungodly hot on the top floor.
Oh.
Like, really, really warm.
Heat does rise, though. This
was in the middle of winter in Illinois, where it gets cold.
Yeah.
Even the friends who were staying across the hall from us, and they're like, did it get really hot in here for you, too? But it didn't happen anywhere else in the house. For the next 6 months, Peter was awoken by a demon screaming over his face at 3:30 every single night.
Oh, gum stuck tissue.
Yeah.
Oh.
And, like, of course it would wake me up because he's freaking out and sweating, and he's like, it was that red, he like saw a red demon face over his face. I don't know how it stopped, but he didn't believe in spirits before that. And I was like, do you believe it now? She's like, yeah, but I don't like this, and I have no idea how it stopped. No one. But that is one of the bigger ghost stories that I have.
Interesting. All right.
But they've never attached to me, which I'm really happy about.
Yeah. Until now.
No.
There hasn't been a Wes here for 54 years.
I just come over and talk to myself for hours.
You're like, just take care of this dog. Oh, can I actually share like a half of one?
Sure.
That I thought was interesting. So I went to Tombstone, Arizona, and did a ghost tour, which ended up not being a ghost tour, really. It ended up being more a historical tour. So I was a little disappointed with that. But when they gave us two things, they gave us an EMF reader, and it's got little lights on it, and it goes beep when something goes off. And they gave us a thermometer. I don't think I bought. There was a moment where it got really, really cold. It was like close to where they used to hang people in Tombstone at the courthouse, and then it dawned on me that it was hot there because Tombstone, Arizona, and at the end of June. And I noticed that when we were, walking along streets and doing the testing, it was like hot. It was hot. And then when we walk over to the courthouse, it's like cold over there. And then it dawned on me, we were on the pavement. Now we're on the grass in the shade, like over by a brick wall. Like, of course it's colder. So I didn't buy that. But for whatever reason, while I was holding the EMF reader, and only me, because we had 2 EMF readers with us, because only 3 of us, it would go off occasionally. It would just go off. Just me, just randomly. Yeah, so weird.
Wow.
At first I thought it was my phone, because I would notice it, like I would put my hand down at my side and then it would go off, and then I moved it to the other side and it still did it. So
wow.
I don't know.
Wow. The
phone makes sense though, because it's electromagnetic field, right? So, but yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe they set them to.
Can I share one tiny story?
Okay, I did an extra one. You can. Well, this is your third one.
Oh shoot!
Go ahead. It's fine. It's spooky month.
Spooky.
Give the listeners what they want.
My college, notoriously haunted.
Same.
Just like super haunted everywhere.
Well, yeah.
And
I'll do another one after this.
While I was doing my homework, I was sitting in front of the computer and I had just finished a soda. Yeah. My dorm room was haunted by Toby. He lived there. He had took his life out in the woods, but that was his dorm room when he went to school there.
Yeah.
He was very nice. He was a nice spirit. But one day I was typing on the computer. I finished the last of my soda. I set it down and I'm typing. And in the middle of typing, the soda can lifts up in midair, turns on its side, and goes back down. And I was like, okay, Toby, let's not do that today.
Ooh.
He would move things around, and he was very nice. Never like, I was always like, okay, Toby, I'm going to sleep now. Be nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
That was pretty wild.
You do remind me of college. So I lean towards like I kind of want to believe, but I don't know that I there's lots of explanations for things.
Sure.
It's kind of like when in the movie the Warrens go to somebody's house and they're like, oh, the pipes do this and then the floorboards creak and then this happens. So like I think they're like most houses aren't haunted. We lived in student housing, but I don't want to say dorms because I went to fake college. I went to art school.
Oh.
And not like a cool art school, like one of those like predatory lender ones. And the building for the school was downtown Seattle. So they had two sort of like apartment buildings that I don't know if they owned or they rented them or whatever, but, and that's where students were broken up for student housing. And so, in our building, the one we were in was very old. And among the things that it had been in history, at one point, I want to say in like the 70s, it was a hotel, but it was like one of those like cheapo motels where people paid by the hour kind of a thing. There's a lot of sex work going on and a lot of drugs. And then prior to student housing, I believe it was a home for elderly people. So like in one of the utility areas in the lobby, there was still a note for the fire department to know where different people who had disabilities were at. Like that still existed in nobody had ever taken it down. And in addition to that, at least one art student committed suicide in the building. This is one of those buildings where the elevator had one of those gates.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. There were two elevators. One was like that. And one, was there two elevators? Maybe there's only one elevator. And people would lose their key cards and then we'd have to like send the elevator up and then jump into the shaft to get the key cards out and then get back out. So anyways, there was one room that students were very uncomfortable in. And there was a corner of the room that was like always really, really cold, and people were really bothered by that. But I had an experience where I lived on one corner, and we had a closet. I had a roommate, and we had a tiny bedroom with doors, and then we had a closet, and the bedroom that I was in was double doors, and then my roommate lived in the closet. Like we moved his bed into the closet so we could have a living room.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Most of the places were studio apartments.
Yeah.
And because we were resident assistants, we got corner rooms, and we could have our own room, but we were best friends, and so we stayed together. So he lived in the closet, and I lived in this other little room, and my closet door would open on its own constantly. And then, like, if I tried to take a nap in the middle of the day, the double doors would go whoom, 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 like that. And so we decided that there was just like a ghost. And one time, I was in my room and I saw my roommate walking, or I thought it was my roommate, walking across the living room, and I didn't think he was there. So I got up and there was no one there. And then he came home later and I was like, were you home at all? And he's like, no. It's like, oh, okay, that's what this was. But anyways, I don't know if I don't know. Maybe I think I see stuff out of the corner of my eye all the time here. I don't know. I think I see the dog.
This place isn't haunted. This room is not haunted.
I'm just telling you. So that's what I'm saying. Yeah. It's like I see stuff out of the corner of my eye. I don't think it's real. Like I think I see the dog sometimes out of the corner of my eye when he's not in the house, or I quite frequently think I see a person. I'm hitting things. Quite frequently think I see a person like moving around in the dining room area when I'm like at my computer. I don't believe there's anything going on here.
No.
I've not experienced anything weird. Tonight I will now that I've said that. But,
there's a reason why we don't record this at night.
Yeah, that's true.
Wow.
Should we draw a movie out of the bucket? You want me to draw?
Go for it.
Okay. Move it around. This is for people. There's movies in there.
Movie.
Hundreds of movies. Like there's over 400 movies in here. That's right.
Awesome.
I cut 400 little strips of paper. And the winner is Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters.
That's not very spooky.
Yeah.
Oh, you've heard the song. Good.
Just a couple times.
Have you seen the movie?
Yeah.
I would be so blown away if you'd been like, no, I've never seen Ghostbusters. I would have been shocked and so excited to experience that. I've never experienced Ghostbusters with somebody for the first time.
Oh, yeah.
I bet that's fun.
I'll bet it is.
Yeah.
No, we went to, Amber and I went to street food cinema like when I first moved here.
Yeah.
And we used to always make costumes. We would come dressed up, and she dressed up as Sigourney Weaver's character.
Oh, with the dress.
Uh-huh. And I was...
Pre-dog. You were Gozer?
Yes, I was Gozer.
Nice. You David Bowie, basically.
Yeah, kind
Yeah.
of.
Yeah.
So yes, I've definitely seen it.
Did you cut your hair to have that like flat top or whatever she had? I'm assuming no.
I did not. Mm-mm.
Yeah.
I don't know what I did. I think I just made my hair look all crazy.
Gozer's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's exciting.
Yeah.
Yay.
All right. Well, until next time, everyone. Bon cinema.